Good evening, guys. How you doing? I hope you're well. As soon as you're coming in, please do like and comment. Let me know that you're present. I am just going to message everybody and tell everybody that we are live. Oh, my lovely girl. Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? Hey? Kisses. Kiss. I love you. Sleep well. Sleep well. No being naughty. Right, let's do this. Let's do this. How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? As soon as you're in, make sure you comment, talk to me, let me know that you're here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just emailing everyone, guys, just to let you know that you're here. So I do apologise for being slightly distracted. Bailey, just while I'm on this, do you mind holding that, please? Thanks, my man. Good. I'm all yours. How's it going? How are we doing? Where's my tea? This time I do have tea. I hope you're well. So I hope today was a bit of an eye-opener. If you are watching back, please do comment watching back so I know that you are watching back. Tell me when you're done. I'm done. Oh, yeah, I will do, yeah. I don't know if you recognise the picture from the ad, which is how you found yourself here. Alright, so today we're going to talk about self-awareness, life audit, the purpose of the life audit, why you do a life audit, okay, and the importance of it. I'm going to answer your questions as well. Okay, so let's have a look here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get those questions going. Right, we're going to get going in a couple of minutes, guys. I'm a little bit early, so we're just letting this build up a bit, letting people know that we're here. I know that people have got stuff on, but as long as you get to watch it back, that's all that matters, yeah? And hopefully you are committed. See, so what did we get? I think we've got 85 people answering the question, so you can already see out of 240 people, only 80 people have committed so far. Hopefully some of you are going to catch it up. But remember, commitment, commitment, commitment. Righto. Okay, we're going to dive in. So, when I hit my turning point, when I hit my turning point, when I hit that process where I was sitting on my bed, and I was probably minutes away from ending my own life. I got to that point. Things got so bad, I just didn't know how to get out of it. And I felt like I was a really, really bad dad. I'd really let everybody down. My thought process was that everybody would be better off without me. Okay? Everyone would be better off without me. So, I'm out of here. And within minutes, I didn't want to do it. And I was semi in control. And I took myself out for a run. I did this run. And I went for a run just to get out of the house and clear the mind. And I was running along, and it was meant to be a half an hour run, around the corner. And it ended up being a 3-hour run. And in that 3-hour run, I cried, I laughed, I reflected. I went into deep thought processes about how I'd lived my life, how I had got to this stage from living such a fulfilled life, and how I'd fucked up so bad. And as I was running and going through a mixture of emotions, so many things just started to make sense. And the black cloud, the rut, in being in the trenches, whatever it is that you call it, the lost moment, the dark spot, that run managed to lift me up enough for 5 to 15 minutes. It pulled me out of that rut. It pulled me out of the trenches. It pulled me out of that dark spot. It lifted the black cloud for me to be able to reflect enough to change my mind in the decision that I had made in terms of ending things. So what was really important was self-reflection. and self-awareness. I didn't really know what was going on in terms of the way that I was living my life. I had gone from a physical training instructor, Sergeant Royal Marine, physical training instructor, well respected, worked really fucking hard to get where I was in my military career. I'd lost all identity, I'd lost all structure, I'd lost all routine, I'd lost all purpose and fulfillment. And when I left the military and I was in Civvy Street, I was left with nothing. I pushed everybody away, got divorced from my wife at the time, completely destroyed my kid's life by leaving, and made many, many mistakes. And I ended up getting to this point, and it was just turning point for me. When I got home, I just looked at the picture of my two kids and was like, fucking, what am I doing? Okay, let's assess the situation. Now, whenever I did any patrols or I did anything in any recce's or I was doing OPs, observational posts in Afghanistan, what I would always do is assess the situation. I was always taught to assess a situation. A situation would arise, we assess it rather than reacting quickly. Okay, we assess, we make a plan, and we move forwards. Now, the way that I did this with my life is I needed to raise my self-awareness. So I raised my self-awareness by auditing myself. And I audited myself in terms of how I was living my life. Now, at the time, there weren't the 4 pillars. It wasn't in a structural model sense. It was just kind of like, how am I living my life? Am I training? No. Right, I need to train. Am I paying attention to the kids? Semi, yes. Am I earning enough money to run the house? No. First repossession bill came in, say they were going to take the house. So I was fucked. You know, I took a 15 grand pay cut to leave the Royal Marines to be home, and that created stress, it created overwhelm, it created a deep sense of responsibility, but equally failure to not be able to support my family. And all of these things would pile up on top of me. Now, every single one of you in here that is paying attention to this challenge, that is committed to the challenge and is not making excuses about why they're not doing it, what we're going to do this week is going to raise your self-awareness. Now, many of you will never have looked at your life the way you have done today. And many of your scores today will be flawed. Now, let me tell you why. Many of you would have reacted immediately, straight away, to the audit and just given scores off the top of your head. Many would have lied to yourself because you didn't want to look at how bad the situation was. Now, if I was to say to you, and I put you in a room with a table and a chair, and I sat you down, and I said, you do nothing, there's no phone, there's no computer, there's no distractions, you're in here for half an hour, and I want you to think in depth about each pillar of your life that I talk about: health, relationships, personal development, and your career and business. Okay, career/business. I want you to think about each one in the last 12 months. In the last 12 months, how have you performed in your health? And what underneath health is mental, emotional, and mental well-being. How have you been coping? How have you been practicing? How have you been keeping on top of it? How consistent are you? What control measures do you have? And how much clarity do you have? And that same sketch for each of the pillars. And that same sketch for each of the pillars. And then suddenly what you do is you raise awareness and you raise concerns about where you are in your life right now. The life audit is to tell you exactly where you are in your life right now. It's to tell you where your priorities are. It's to tell you about the things that you're not focusing on. So before I can move forwards with you, before I can help you, before I can challenge you to create better expectations of yourself, bigger outcomes for yourself, you have to understand why you are yo-yoing all of the time, why you're starting something 1 minute, leaving it the next, why you can't be consistent in a work-life balance, in a happy routine, why you're not happy. It's because you don't know. You are so busy firefighting, being drawn into the hamster wheel, the rat race of life, following the same routine, same shit, different day, that you are not stopping, pausing, and assessing where the fuck you are in your life. And because you don't do that, you don't identify the problems, so you don't deal with the problems. You cover over the cracks by going on a 4-week fat loss program somewhere, or doing a couple of workouts, getting ready for Aunt Betty's wedding or your holiday that's coming up, and you go to the wedding, you go and do that program, you go on holiday, and you come back and you go straight back to the way you were. Self-awareness starts by looking yourself in the mirror and being honest about where you are. And just a few set of numbers can completely dictate to you and explain to you exactly where you are. But you must be honest, and you must be focused, and you must be completely undistracted while you write it down, right? And I guarantee that if you were to write those scores down again, okay, if you were to write those scores down again tomorrow, you would think differently. If you put a little extra time into it and a little bit more thought process in depth. And it's not to say not everybody's is going to be like that, but I just done this so many times and done it myself. You just rush. Boom, just going to get that challenge done. And it is now the leverage, the springboard for you to now grow. You now know where you are, so you can now deal with the problems. Most people don't even know what the problems are. So you are winning, guys. All right. If this makes sense, just catch up. Hit the blue thumb button for me. Obviously, if we were face-to-face in an online seminar, I could see whether people have got this. If this is resonating, just hit the blue thumb button a couple of times. Comment below that it's just resonating for me. And if this is making sense. Good, 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 good. Great. Okay, that's good to hear. Don't worry about being late. It's fine. Catch up, buddy. Okay. So I'm going to ask some questions here. Good, guys. Glad it makes sense. Making sense. Good, good, good. And that's all I'm trying to do. Okay. Fat loss, fitness levels, personal development, personal improvement, a better state of mind. It just comes from common sense. You all know what I'm talking about because all of you are saying it all makes sense. I get it. You know the difference between you guys and my guys on my mastermind who have been working with me? Those guys are 10 times more aware about their problems and doing it than you guys. You're just at this different stage. You are just not attuned into yourself yet. And the thing that I always say to my coaching clients is, you are re-educating you. I'm helping you re-educate yourself of how to live your life again. And we need that. We go through education all the way to 18 years old, 21 years old, then you stop learning how to live a life. You're expected just to do it yourself. In the 20s, it doesn't matter because you piss it up. You go out on a fucking shagging spree, you go on a lad's holiday, you play your sports, you go to the gym, then suddenly you get married, then suddenly you have kids, then suddenly you have jobs and responsibilities. Then you're like, fuck, how do I cope with this? How do I deal with this? How do I manage my time? How do I manage my routine? How do I improve myself? How do I do something for myself? How do I become the best version of myself? How do I stop existing and start living? You need to re-educate the way that you live your life. And the biggest thing that's missing in all of your lives is accountability and ownership and structure. 3 things. When my boy comes home, I know what he does every time. He goes into his room, he throws his clothes on the floor, he turns on his PlayStation and he starts fucking playing FIFA. And I give it to him. I give him half an hour. Okay, he's been working all day. He needs that break. So I go up there. I say, okay, there's 3 things that I need from you, son. I need you to hang your uniform up. I need you to plan in and tell me when you're doing your homework. And I need you to make your packed lunch for tomorrow. When's that happening? Now, if I wasn't there to tell him to do that, he'd play PlayStation all night, probably to bed, probably not have dinner, and then go to sleep, wake up and go to school. Now, for the most of you, that is you. You are waking up, going to work, doing your shit, getting stressed, coming home, drinking, going to bed. And unless you have that person that comes in your life and go, okay, hey buddy, let's wake up an hour early tomorrow. Let's do some fizz. Let's sweat it out. Let's get some clarity on your day. Let's have some mindset work on our head, in our mind. Then go to work in a much better frame of mind, by the way. Be more efficient with your time and your energy at work. Prioritise the tasks that you need to do to move your business forward and your career forward. Come home, transition into a good state of mind into your personal space, and then be present at home. Raise your bar, buy your wife some flowers, give your kids attention. Don't be on your phone. We'll come on to all that this week. But without that person that is there, coaching you, offering you accountability, asking what the fuck you're doing the wrong thing over and over again, you never change. And that's why we do this free course, because it raises your awareness levels. What you do with that is then down to you. Right, amigos, so we're going into questions. I'm going to go through the questions here. There's fucking loads of questions here, which is great to see. If you have any questions at all that you have on tonight's subject alone, nothing about calories or routines or anything about self-awareness, please do stick them in here. I'm here for you. I'm going to eat bagel, tea, and we'll have a nice relaxed environment. Jason. Okay, I have improved since my last time in most of my pillars. One is lower than last time. What is expected as a good balance? I don't think 10 across the board is always good to be constant, but I assume it's just adapting as I go along moving forward. Can I please get a motivational t-shirt? Okay, so let's have a look here. Preaching now, spot on, good. Motivation, how? Okay, I'll come on to that in a minute. So, Jason, excellent, well done for improving your scores from last time. I never truly believe anyone is a 10. I've never marked myself as a 10. And the reason that is one of my life rules is never reach your peak. Never reach your peak. Because what happens when you reach your peak? You start going downhill. If I get dangerously close to my peak, and my optimum work rate, my optimum motivation, my optimum inspiration, and I'm getting to the place I want to be, I just fucking raise the standards. I'm always chasing the peak. Okay, you have to be honest with yourself. Some weeks, you can have a shit week. There are some days it just doesn't happen. There are some days that just problems just smack you in the fucking face, and it just does not happen. You're going to have that. And that's what I teach my guys in my mastermind, in my programs, is that you will fail miserably on days, over and over and over again. The difference between you making it in this life and not making it in this life is your bounce back ability. Your ability to bounce back the next day, not feel sorry for yourself, not have a victim mentality, but have the strength of mind to be able to wake up the next day and go, yesterday was shit, let's put it aside, I'm fired up for today, let's go. Mobile phones are a killer. I'm on standby 24/7, pretty much so my nightmare, just stop watching the fucking thing. So, Dave, here's the thing. Mobile phones, we're distracted because mainly of social media and boredom. If you didn't have any social media on your telephone, if you put your phone on do not disturb, and the only person that can get through to you via telephone are the people that need to while you're on call and close family, you'll never hear any notifications. Normally, when I'm not doing a 5-day challenge, at 5:30, my phone will be in the dining room on do not disturb, charging. That way, when I'm in the lounge, I don't mess on it. I'm not on it. It's sitting in the other room. So if the phone goes off and there's a text message or there's a phone call, I know it's either from my son, my daughter, the kid's mum, or my mum. What are you doing, you weirdo? Just popping your head round. Okay, that's that. Okay. That then forms discipline. And that takes time to embed that routine. Okay. When it comes to self-awareness, should you strive for perfection or excellence, and what is the difference? Jonathan, I believe that when comes to self-awareness, you should strive to be 1% better than you were yesterday. Perfection and excellence creates anxiety because it's a very high standard. I think you should look at improving 1% every single day. Whatever that 1% looks like to you, it's got to be better than yesterday. Bay, Can you text your mum? Because she's asking how you are and I think she's trying to get through. 1% every single day. You improve by 1% every single day. You're going to be 365% better in 1 year's time. And I tell you what, our 365 small wins in a year period is going to change your life. I promise you that. You save up £1 every single day, you've got 365 at the end of the week, end of the year. Save a tenner, you're £3.5 grand better off. Okay, small wins, build them up in the bag. Dave, my main issue is tiredness. Trying to juggle work, little sleep with a 1, 4 and 5-year-old. Whew. Doomfizz, trying to see my older kids who are 100 miles away. There is just not enough time in a day. I know I need to work on my time management, but I'm just so knackered all of the time. I don't achieve anything. So you're in a conundrum. You're in a lose-lose situation, Dave. So you're tired, probably because you're exhausted. Most likely nutrition is poor. Most probably there's not enough exercise going on. You're probably stressed out your brains and there's no priorities coming on. Managing your time and energy is absolutely essential. Now, that question is going to be perfectly answered on Thursday and Friday. So I'm not going to delve into that answer there now, Dave. That's an incentive for you to stick with me till Thursday, Friday, when we talk about routines, structure, prioritization, productivity, time management and planning your week. Okay. Sean, lorry driver, start at 3 a.m. most days, finish at 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. Stay away in lorry all week. Hard to get balance in mainly nutrition. Bit easier this time of the year to get out in the evening for a walk or run, but need more consistency in my life to get fitter and be happier. So you are allowed that to be an excuse, Sean. So you allow that to be a barrier. There is nothing to stop you having a golden hour the hour you get home. So the minute you get in, the stuff that you would normally do in the morning, you could do as soon as you get home. Okay, so if you are getting in at 4 p.m, from 4 to 5:30 can be your time. And at 5:30 you could be switched off. Okay, you can switch off. Every single one of you has enough time. The problem is you are wasting your time. You're not prioritizing your time. If you took all of the money that you possess in assets and in your bank and you had it in your hand, you wouldn't waste it by going as you're walking down the street. You wouldn't be flicking your 10 or 20 pound notes off, would you? Because you value that money. Most of you don't value time like you do money. Most of you take advantage of time or do not appreciate the importance of your individual time and where your time and your energy should be going. This is something we're going to be working on probably on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Time management is the biggest killer of every guy's dream to be fit and healthy and to be the best version of themselves. The biggest excuse I ever get is that I don't have enough time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. How you use them is down to you and your productivity, your personal management and your self-discipline. Jonathan, James Bourman, when did you realise you needed to be better yourself and who helped you on your journey? So that was when I told the story at the very beginning, that was my pivotal moment that I needed to improve. And my partner was the Jemima, the body that just walked past, was the person that pretty much, if you like, saved me and helped me become a much better man. And she, ironically, in a cheesy way, made me want to be a much better man. Oh, you didn't hear that, did you?
Hear what?
So yeah, she's the reason that I became a better man. Dickhead. Okay, my answers this time around, about 2 weeks after doing the task originally, are different from last time. Some I previously overscored and some I underscored. I used the time between as a reflection period, so more thought has gone into the second round. Am I right in assuming this is common to see? So Kieran's just proved my point there of exactly what I was talking about earlier when we do the scores. We do them too quickly, we do them with little thought, we do them as a side hustle, okay? 100%. You do them a little bit later, you'll probably get a much more accurate result. Right, let's have a look here, see if I'm missing any questions here. Your book is keeping my mind occupied. Brilliant, Stephen. Well done. Glad it's helping. How do you deal with negative loved ones? Wake up, positive, ready to attack the day, the world, and then boom, people around you zap that out of you. Tom, I usually just like knock them clean out. I don't, dude. Like, I'd probably say if there's a negativity issue, maybe you can ask why they're so negative. Maybe even go as far as saying, am I in the right environment here? I would, you know, I think you've got to be around positive people some way or one way or another. It's very difficult. It's like stepping on a minefield when it's in your own home. But I think that sometimes communication is really important because they could be going through a world of hurt themselves. They could be going through a lot that you don't know about. And I think that's where communication is really important. They could be deeply unhappy. They could be frustrated. They could be depressed. They could be anxious. They could be hiding it. Men are not the only people to hide their feelings. Women do as well. Okay, mental health is real in women and men. So I'd probably say, Tom, it's definitely worth communicating and inspiring her to do something like you're doing something for yourself. 365 is how I'm looking at my life, 110%. So one of our sayings in the mastermind is 24/7, 365. It takes a year for you to fully change. Don't believe anything else. It takes a full year for this to be second nature to you. That just puts perspective for you on how hard it is for people to change. I've got guys who have just joined the mastermind. I've got guys who've been with me for 2.5 years. Every single one of them is at a different stage and they go through the same points. I see it. It's like watching a child grow up. From a baby, you see them develop, and it's exactly the same. Time goes by so quick, 100%, 100%. Excellent. Right, okay, let's get some of these questions in here. Russell, how do you stay motivated? I start off with every intention of being in shape mentally and physically, but the enthusiasm wears off in 3 weeks, with all the excuses allowed to control me. 110%. And this is so common for I don't know a man. I've spoke to hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands now, of guys. And I don't know a guy that this does not happen to. Okay? 110%. 110%. Men cannot sustain a routine because of poor routines, because of poor structure, because of zero purpose, zero fulfillment. Most people do not realise what they're waking up for. They're missing that fire and the connection to fire, to the beast that you want to release, to be the best version of yourself forever. You don't know why. Why do you want to be the best version of yourself? Why do you want to be fit and healthy? Why do you want to be in shape? Why do you want a good life? Why do you want to be happy? This is stuff we're going to talk about Wednesday, so I'm not going to delve too much into it. But most people don't stay motivated because you don't know why you should be motivated. Why the fuck should I be motivating is shit as well. I don't want to hear the word again. It's like a hot water bottle. When it's hot, you are hot and warm and cozy. When it's cold, it's fucking miserable. And that's how motivation is. Hot and cold. You need a deeper sense of purpose so that when all the chips are against you, when everything is against you, when your routine is against you and life's punching you in the face, you still have a reason to show up every single day. And I can tell you that's not something you get like that. That's something you work at. That takes more self-awareness. That takes going deeper into your subconscious mind about what you want out of your life. Always too impatient me. I need to accept it takes time to change. It takes a long time to change. Nothing happens overnight, and if it does happen overnight, it's most likely not sustainable. When did you realise your previous relationship was toxic? A long time ago. A long time before it ended. And it wasn't toxic. It was toxic because of me. And it was me, 110%. I do have a positive mindset. I don't see what there isn't to be positive about. Okay, I don't see it. Even with everything that's going on around us, real life is real life. You cannot stop reality. It doesn't matter what you do, you cannot control the things or the elements in life that you can't control. You can only control your world, your perspective. If you think about that little circle there, that is your world. This is the rest of the world. You can't do fucking anything about that. But what you can do about is control. That looks dodgy as fuck. What you can control is that little circle and everything that's in it. And when you're in that bubble and everything in your bubble is in control and you are in control, the rest of the world cannot touch you. It's like a force field around you. That high level of ego, right? I think Facebook is like playing up slightly. Yeah. I'm not sure why it keeps getting interrupted, guys. I do apologise. Let me just wait for you all to come back. So ego is a big barrier. It's a huge barrier to people. Men have thick skins and they're too afraid to look vulnerable and weak. I am vulnerable every single day. I feel vulnerable from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed at times. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not sure what happened there. I think Facebook must have kicked you all out or something. Facebook is on the fucking blink, I think. So, welcome back if you've just come back. There is nothing wrong with being vulnerable as a man. There's nothing wrong with being open as a man. There is nothing manly about holding your emotions inside of you. Nothing. Okay. Craig, my energy levels and motivation change massively throughout the day. How can I keep a steady level and maintain it throughout the day? This is the big impact on some of my self-audit scores. So this again relates to what we're going to be doing on Wednesday evening. We're going to be focused a little bit more on your purpose, your why, your fulfillment. But again, it's managing your time and your energy. Your time and your energy are valuable, especially as you're getting a little bit older. You must value that time and energy even more. Okay, it's essential that you do that. Okay, when you do that, you prioritize, you have more time and energy to be more motivated for life. The problem is you're too distracted and fucked from all the distractions, and it's pulling you back. And you're not making the progress that you want because you're misplacing your priorities. James, how do you turn a desire to improve into a consistent action? Show up every fucking day. Michael, how specific should I be? I have a real habit of over-analysing and getting tied into knots. I prepare a bucket list of sorts every 3 months and have generally good success so far. But I know it's because I've put down the readily achievable goals, e.g. save £200 towards a holiday, etc, etc. I'm nervous I might give up because I lose focus on the process of developing a life system. So I'd say, Michael, that one of the things that are going on here is that first of all, most men overthink problems. Overthink all the time. They think worst case scenarios. They think the worst. That's always the way. And that affects your ability to think clearly about what you want to achieve in your life. So I think one of the things that you have to consider when you are trying to achieve goals over 90 days is, do those goals, do those reference points, those landscapes that we're aiming for, do they get you fired up? Are they exciting? Or are they easy? Are they easy to achieve? Are they pushing you? I always say to my guys, when we do our coaching workshops in our mastermind, in our 28 days and all of that stuff, your goals should be 10 times out of your reach than you normally push. And what I mean by that is that if you say you want to run 5k, you should be aiming for half a marathon. It doesn't matter if you don't achieve the half marathon. If you said you were going to do 5k, you'd probably push in and around 2, 3, 4, 5k. If I said to you, I want you to run half a marathon, you'd probably be running 5, 6, 7 miles, which is 10 times more than you ever imagined. And if you apply that state of mind to your work, your relationships, and your own personal development, imagine where you could be in 12 weeks if you really put your mind into it. Will the daily tasks take long? Unfortunately, I do not have the time to spend on myself. Well, fuck me backwards, John. That is exactly not the attitude that we want in this group, bro. So, this is a classic case of not spending the time on yourself, okay? The daily tasks are as long as you want them to be. They could take you 2 seconds, they could take you 20 minutes. But to be even in this group, you actually have to want to improve yourself and put the time into yourself. So I'm not really going to go into that anymore. Gordon, definitely improved scores since attending previous 5-day challenges. My low one is work. It doesn't fire me up, but equally it doesn't F me off either. So it's around a 6. Not sure whether it's an okay place to be or whether I should be addressing the middling scoring. So I think what you've done there, Gordon, is identified that you're not happy in your job. Let's say you're 40 years old. You've got 25 years left in that job. Are you going to spend the next 25 years in a job that is okay? Okay, I'll just leave you with that. Anthony, it's like saying, are you 4 stone overweight? Are you happy to be 4 stone overweight for the next 5 years while you figure your life out to be in the right place to go and lose it? Stop wasting fucking time and energy. You know the answer to these questions. My scores are pretty damn low compared to anyone else. First of all, do not compare yourself to anybody else. Everybody's background, everybody's life is completely different. Alright, do not compare yourself. I suffer from depression, which can last weeks. Then highs, which can last just as long. How do you even that out to be consistent? I love the highs, so does everyone else. But the lows are dreadful. They tire me out. So I think this is another classic case of the bounce back ability. If you have a bad day, if you feel low self-esteem, if you end up slipping into self-pity, victim mentality, where we think the world is against us, you will constantly perform with that state of mind. What we need to achieve is a higher level of thinking. So, okay, yesterday was a bad day. I felt bad at myself. Today I'm going to do a self-audit and I'm going to focus on one thing that's going to make me feel better. Okay, there's my 1% for the day. Great, okay. I still didn't feel great, but the next day I'm going to find the next thing that's 1% better. And I'm going to take that thing that I got yesterday, so I'm going to get 2 1% in that to make me feel better. Slowly, surely, consistency of your state of mind is the thing that's going to start flipping that round. If you feel that you are depressed, if you feel that you're in that state, and by the way, I've been here, and this is my own personal experience, and I didn't fucking see anyone to get myself out of it. The minute I recognised and was more self-aware that I was thinking I was depressed, the more I would act depressed. The more I started thinking I was positive and better than I was, the more I started acting, the better I was. Keep telling yourself something and you will be it. Or flip it 180 and you'll be that. Doo-doo-boo-boo. My scores. Right, I'm going to catch up on some of these questions on the live feed here. Right, okay, we're back from there. Vulnerability is a massive strength, lifesaver, and improves close relationships. Agreed. Brilliant. Love the assessing SAS training. One dilemma at a time. Focus in the job at hand. Love how you display real life happening there. Partners are food. Motivation tie to be a better man. My own Dark place and motives all the time. Good man, Jason. Good to see you bouncing back, brother. I'm glad to have you here, Jason, as well. Catch the rest of this on the flip side, 100%. Sorry I'm late, don't worry. How do you control the demons that affect self-confidence and make life so tough at times? By recognising it, Ian. Self-awareness, brain dump, keep a journal. I used to keep a journal. And in that journal, I'd always write down the things whenever, I used to call it the white knight, the black knight. And the white knight was the guy who was trying to make me good, and the black knight was the guy who was trying to fuck me up. The chimp, the black knight, whatever you want to call it. And I used to have this battle of confliction. I was being pulled left and right. And every time I was having that confliction, I used to write them down. And at the end of the day, when I do gratitude or when I sit there and reflect, I'd look at the book and go, fuck, I remember that little cheeky little fucking, the black knight on the old left shoulder trying to pull me in the wrong direction, trying to take me out in the piss with the lads or trying to fucking fuck my life up somehow. And then I wrote down all of the times that I won and all the times that I lost, and it suddenly become more W's than L's, more wins than losses. So you can control that by being more aware of it, right? Stuart, I struggle with being a leader and doing things off my own back. It's like I am waiting for someone to give me permission to be myself. I hate that. Yeah, I get that as well, 110%. You almost need permission to change. Okay, and what I try to teach many men is to be the leader of their own lives. And when you're the leader of your own lives, you learn that you are in control. It's your brain. It's your body. The messages that go between the brain and the body are only yours. No one else's. I can't change you. I can't make you do something. When my clients come to work with me on a 28-day or my mastermind, I can only do so much. Hence rule number 2, meet me halfway. I can only meet you halfway. Only anyone can ever meet you halfway. You have to come the rest of the way if you're going to change. And the guys that are not ready to come and meet us halfway will be one day. But during that time and energy is passing and you're missing it. Again, raising the self-awareness, having the courage to take the first step and implement. Task 1 took me 9 minutes. Great. Used to be a high performer. Lost the will due to all the politics. Divorce left personal life a mess, but focus on kids has been really rewarding. Good to hear that you're focusing on the kids, Ian. So this is just for me. This is a classic case of just a brand new chapter for you, Ian. Whatever has happened yesterday or in the past has happened. It should now define you and create a much stronger, more aware character to create a brand new chapter in your life. Which is exciting, right? As much as the heartache that you've been through, you should be excited at the thrill of creating this brand new version of yourself where people are like, fuck, is that still Ian? Simon, there is a life outside of the work you do. I was made redundant after 20 years. It's so opened my eyes to employers and how valued I actually was. I'm in a new job now and it is great. 100% Simon. I work with a guy who had been in his job for 26 years and he had neglected his family most of that time and his health. We finally got it together and he was laid off, made redundant after 4 weeks. And it was the penny drop moment. You're only here to work. Your work is your work. Everyone's got to work. I'm working now. Okay? Everyone's going to work. You do your work, but when you finish your work, you don't fucking crack on with the next thing. Oh my God, so many. I am most afraid of failing my child and my wife by not being the man I used to be, and it's paralysed me. Failing. You cannot fail at being a husband and a father if you show up, cuddle him, kiss him, tell him you love him, and just be there with him. That's it. That's all I want. Again, overthinking, putting yourself under pressure, responsibilities, all of the things, those things. Failure is just an overthink. Most people fear things because they overthink it. When you stand in a dark black room, you think that somebody's in there with you because you assume because you've seen films, you've listened to other external influences. Your brain plays tricks on you. And it's not really real, and you overthink. Failure is no different in anything you do. My fear of when I joined the Royal Marines, before I joined the Royal Marines, was fucking through the roof. After like about 2 days, I settled straight in. And overcoming the fear on the other side is like going over a mountain and coming back down the other side. It's never really as hard as what you thought it was. But you just got to be able to overcome it and face it and write them down. Be more aware of them. Thanks for that. It seems like your teachings, as it were, is very similar to the chimp paradox. Have you read this book? And if so, what's your opinion of it? So, Ian, I read that book 2017. I did read it, all the way through, and I tried to listen to it, but the voice was like, oh my God, it was torturous. It's a good book. It's a good book. I took what I needed to take from it. I spend a lot of time reading a lot of books, and I probably get one gold nugget from each book. Let's have a look here. Simpler issue to David and JB. The long hours at work and gym before and after take their toll, and I have little energy left for looking at my goals, PD, or anything else. Guess this needs better structure and time management to address. 100% Andy. So listen, we're going to address that on Thursday and Friday. David, hi James, don't think I did too well in the scores. It doesn't matter if you didn't do well. The whole point of you being here is to recognise that you're not doing well. That's the whole point. If you were in here and you're getting 10s, I'll be telling you to leave the group because it's the wrong group for you. All right. I feel my mental state and family relationships are quite good, which is great to hear. I'm looking more for a physical challenge as a retired 74-year-old. Oh, nice. Operational police officer with at least 25 kilogram spare tyres, 2 knee replacements, both in good working order, and one, I've just got what you were talking about with the tyres there, and one crampish hip with no current prognosis. Am I going to struggle with the 5-day physical workout? David, the only thing and the only way that you'll know is by showing up and doing it. And the advice that I would give you is to go really slow for the first round, really slow, and the second round, and the third round, and it's see how you are. Listen to your body. Don't allow the ego to do the workout. Allow your brain to do the workout and listen to your body. By the way, it's cracking to have you in here, David. 74. What a legend. How can I stay motivated to reach my goals? Have trouble focusing. Scrap motivation, Neil. Focus on what is the key purpose. What's the fire inside of you to stay motivated? You're not motivated because you're distracted. Because you don't feel happy. What do you want to be motivated to do? Okay. I think you've got really good. We're going to look at this motivation thing on Wednesday in a lot more detail, which is why I'm not going into too much detail now. As a decorator by myself at work, I don't stop and feel pretty done in by 3. Would exercise be a good or could it burn out again? As a decorator by myself at work, I don't stop and feel pretty done in by 3. I would say that exercise would do nothing. It will do something for you, but I would say more look at your structure of your day, Paul. Okay, you need to have breaks. You can't be simply on fucking 100% go all of the time. Okay, you've probably got another 20, 25 years of work. There's no way you're going to sustain it. You will burn out chronically and you'll be no good to anyone. Okay? Work out breaks. Work out rest. Work out rest and recuperation. Don't take on as much work. Hire somebody else to come in and help you. Manage your workload. Then you'll start finding more energy. JB, how has your view of yourself changed as you've progressed? Oh, nice question. JB, how has your view of yourself changed as you've progressed? Is it the direction you thought you'd take? So when I very first started, I've learned to love myself more, is the answer to that. And I've learned to be much more grateful for the things, my circle, my world. Okay, I think that's the easiest way to answer that. I love myself more in a non-bell-end way. And I value those things around me much more than anything else. That's where my time and my energy is. And to get to that point has been a lot of fucking hard work. Ian, is it okay to accept an okay score in one area and focus more on making the poorer scores better? It's okay to accept an okay score, but it's not okay to do fuck all about it. How about that? Let's have a look. Thanks for that, dude. 100%. I used to be focused, disciplined, and patient, but my anxiety and lack of focus now prevents me from being me. Is there any tricks that could be help me get that discipline and focus back? There are no tricks. There are no shortcuts. There are no magic fucking pills. Consistent hard work on yourself and a desire to create a masterpiece in yourself. Every single day, accept the losses, accept the fear, accept the change, accept it's going to be hard, accept it's going to take you 365 days. There is no quick fix here, guys. And I'm just being blunt with you. I've been doing this a long time. There is no quick fix. You will learn more about yourself on the process than you ever will have learnt about anything. No course can teach this. You have to be amongst the process and you have to be involved and you have to be willing to fight for your life. Not enough of people are willing. Look at this here. We have got 34 people out of 234. There's 200 people missing. Not willing to put the work in. Wondering whether this is another, is it one of those fucking dodgy courses? You've got to fucking put yourself on the line. Which is why, guys, let me explain something to you. The people that work with me, I choose those guys. Okay? My time and energy is not being consumed by people that can't be asked to put in the work. I'm not interested in working with people that just want the quick fix. I'm interested in people that want to change the way that they live their life. The people in my mastermind, I protect the integrity of that mastermind by running an application process to get in there. Refused like 17 people this year because I don't feel that they are right, because they don't put the work effort in, because they expect it all done for them. This is a meet me halfway sketch. This is a show the fuck up sketch. This is I'm going to provide you with all my knowledge, all my structure, all my routine, everything that I possibly have, my passion, my drive, my desire to help you. But if you can't meet me halfway, then there's not much I can do for you, and you have to be prepared to put that in. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute privilege. Thank you for taking the time to come out. Fucking hell, it's one of the longest ones I've ever done. Tomorrow, we're getting fit. We're getting energised. If you feel that this is not for you, please do me a favour and leave the group and press stop on the Facebook page, okay? So you don't keep getting the messages. It's very selective. I'm straight to the point. I don't mean to be like that, but it's just the way I am. I want to focus on time and energy, answering questions for people that want to be here. Thank you. Have a great evening, and I'll see you soon.